So during primary school, I literally only did maths, English, topic, science, and PACG as my subjects. And so when I graduated and I went into secondary school, I was obviously in for a big shock because suddenly the 5 subjects I was used to were split into maths, English, biology, chemistry, physics, computer science, geography, history, drama, Latin, French, Japanese music, DT art, and theology and philosophy. Quite a mouthful, right? You can imagine how alien it felt to me. And I'm not even exaggerating, those were all the subjects I had to take. Because I had just come from a normal school where one teacher would just teach those 5 subjects before, and this was suddenly a massive leap. I just felt like I was thrown into the Colosseum battle arena, armed with nothing but a pair of Crocs. And for me, I was even more at a disadvantage, because not only had I not had the luxury of studying such subjects before, so Japanese, Latin, and most of the subjects in fact were all brand new to me. I lived very far from school, so while others enjoyed like a trivial 10 to 20 minute commute to school, and maybe even 30 minutes for some people, I was taking upwards of 80 to 90 minutes to get to school. And on top of that, I had music for lessons and other extracurriculars, so juggling all of this on top of the 16 new subjects that I had to take, it was a real struggle, and I had to learn how to balance them all. And I'll be honest, I was failing. But could you blame me? I had so many subjects to balance, and I actually found my Japanese split while recording this video. And as you can see, I was getting 10-20% in my tests at the start. It was shocking. It was really bad. But by the end of the year, I got A's in all my exams. And the same Japanese teacher couldn't believe it either, because there was such a turnaround. If anyone knows how to balance many subjects, it's me, and it's something many people find difficult at school. Maybe it's a couple of subjects that are holding you back, or you struggle to find the time to study all of them. Whatever it is, here's how to balance many subjects at once as a student. Before we go on, my brand new program, the Student Accelerator, is finishing its special pre-launch sale on the 1st of June 2024. It's helping students all around the world become the top of their class without being naturally smart or having to study for long hours. If you're interested, click the link below to watch a free masterclass that I put together showing you how to become that student in all aspects. Be sure to take advantage of the offer after. So, the first thing you have to do is prioritize. So when I first had all these subjects to do, and it was like my first week of school, I did the most logical thing. After coming from school, I have around 2 hours. And so I split it equally amongst my 16 subjects. Also 120 divided by 16, and what's that? 7.5. I had 7.5 minutes to study each subject. And now you can see the problem. 7.5 minutes is nothing. So after I sit down and choose my favorite music track, the 7.5 minutes will be over. So I had to re-strategize. And I've talked about this principle a lot in my other videos, but I don't think I explained it well enough. So if this is the line for success, you have to cross that line to pass the class, get the A. You obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory, you have to get past that line. But by focusing on all 16 subjects at once, trying to push all of them towards the success line like individually. So I'd like move maths up 1, then English 1, and everything up by 1, trying to do that one by one. I actually didn't get to the success line for any of my subjects. As they say, the man who tries to catch 2 chickens catches none. I've explained this before, but you really do have to prioritize. If we had just focused out all the energy instead of spreading it across 16 subjects, I just focused it into 3. Suddenly, I found success in 3 of those subjects. Instead of failing all of them, I was suddenly getting A's in 3. And once you've learned the content and put in the time and got the effort to get it past the success line, maintaining it at that level is relatively easy. Just so as you review it little but often, just even a couple of minutes a day. Not convinced? You only have to do 1 set of chest exercises a week if you want to maintain your chest muscles in the gym. But as soon as you want to increase that, as soon as you want to push it, as soon as you want to like see gains in your chest, suddenly you're having to do 4 or 5 sets a week. That's why the girl who took 28 A-levels, which by the way is insane because most people here only take 3 A-levels and still struggle. She worked in this way. She worked through one subject in its entirety, one course at a time, and then she moved on to the next. Because once you push it past the success line, maintaining it's easy. But if she had tried to push all 20 subjects in the same way, all up to the success line, she would not have been able to do that. Maintenance requires little effort, and it's making progress and increasing your knowledge that takes effort. So I realized this, and what I started to think was, okay, so maths, English, science, and topic. I already did that, so I could focus on these less for a little while, since I already knew a lot of the stuff. And then I thought, what subjects are crammable and which are not? The sciences I knew, but they came naturally to me, and they're mostly like just content and memorization based, so I figured I could cram them. I'd always read books, so English was pretty calm, and maths was also fine because, I mean, you know why. So suddenly the 16 subjects were down to 11, and that was really manageable. And then art, music, DT, like these subjects I didn't really need to study for either. Just pay attention in class, and they're practical, they're hands-on kind of subjects. So as long as I paid attention in class, I was fine. And so that's why for the first time, I only focused on Latin, French, and Japanese. But why? Firstly, they were brand new subjects, I'd never done them before. But secondly, they were languages, and languages are the one type of subjects which you can't cram for. And it took a while, but since I was only focusing on 3 subjects, I rapidly made progress in them. You guys can agree, as long as you do your homework and listen in class, the lessons aren't actually overly complicated. So I did this for the other subjects and I maintained them whilst focusing while grinding on the languages. But slowly and surely, I was confident in them. And since I had already built up proficiency and was good at those subjects, I moved on to humanities, history, geography, and computer science. And then I brought those up to a high level as well, whilst only doing like 2 minutes of Japanese, Latin, and French vocab a day, as to not lose my knowledge in those. And soon I was in a good spot for all 16 subjects. And of course, that's a very simplified way to view it. And a lot of things went into it other than that. But you have to realize that this success bar exists, and maintenance is the strategy. Once you bring it up, you maintain, and then you move on like that. I'd say to split your school time into fortnights, 2 weeks, and saying those 2 weeks you're going to focus on specifically a group of 3 subjects. Make those your priority and level up in those. It seems scary to prioritize certain subjects while neglecting others, because inevitably you're going to see like the other subjects, they're just going to maintain at like the C level, that you're not going to see improvements in those. But the thing I'd say is that I was literally at that point where I was focusing on all subjects at once because I was scared of leaving like some behind. But the thing is, you're not leaving them, you're coming back for them. Would you rather not make the finish line for any of the subjects like I was doing and fail all of them? Or bring some up, maintain them, and then bring the rest up? Because I'm telling you that works, and as you can see, it worked for me because I got A's by the end of the year. You have to think of the long term. You're not seeing the big exams right now, so there's no point in trying to bring them up all at once. As long as you get there by the end of the year, so splitting your time up into fortnights and then prioritizing what you're going to focus on then is a really effective way to do it. And as I said before, the man who tries to catch 2 chickens catches none. Focus on the core ones first and then move on. And another tip I have for studying multiple subjects at once is to study similar subjects together. Although many people argue that like after you study maths you want to do English, like vary it up and like make it so that you're not tired of like math based subjects, I actually disagree. You should study overlapping subjects together. I always studied maths and physics together. I always studied biology and chemistry together. And I always studied art and DT together, Latin and French together. Why? Because they're interconnected. They share a lot of the same content. So by studying the same group of subjects together, you're actually able to spend less amount of time studying for them, because by studying for biology and then chemistry, a lot of it already overlaps and then you've already studied for a lot of it. Same for Latin and French, and same for the other ones. This overlap is one you want to look for, because there's a lot of subjects, and if you study for them individually, the 16 subjects, that's like 16 subjects amount of work. Between like the similar subjects, if we can imagine there's like even just a 25% overlap between them, that will shave off a huge amount of time you have to spend on them. So for your subjects, group together which ones have kind of overlapping topics, if there are any, and then start to plan your study sessions in a way that you study these subjects at the same time. It will enhance your knowledge and also make it so you remember the same thing for longer. Because if you think about it, like as I'm studying chemistry, I'll be like, oh, like the enzymes, so yeah, we cover that in biology, and suddenly I've made a link in my brain. And your memory is just a collection of these links, neural pathways. And so when making it between subjects, it makes it possible because you're studying similar subjects together. So utilize this to your benefit and do that. Many subjects can be daunting, and just like I showed you earlier, I was there. I had it worse than anyone, like being overloaded by these subjects. It felt like such a huge jump. But think of it as a season and take it step by step, and a calculated push in certain areas will make it so that instead of this all like taking up mindset, you want to be pushing some at a time. That's how you make progress. And once again, go watch the free masterclass with the first link in the description to learn how to become the top student of your class, and join Student Accelerator at its special discounted price before June the 1st. There's a video on the website to help convince your parents if need be. And as always, take action, and I'll see you next time.